rolling. Hey everybody, welcome to Prop Live. This is the show that we do every week where we take your prop costume making questions and answer them to the best of our ability. We have a couple of prop makers on the show today, me, because I'm usually here, but also my shopmate Will. Hey Will.
Hey, what's up?
Just, making space guns all day long. Will's been making armor things, panels, stuff for the last day and a half. Hey, we're down in the shop here. We've been cramming away for a really cool event this weekend. We'll tell you all about that. First, I want you guys to, if you're watching live, go join the chat. If you go to punishedprops.com/live, all the information you need to join the chat is right there. We've got, look at that. We got a chat. We got people in it, people talking. We got, let's see, Lady Longshakes, that's Brittany. We got Lon. We got Saul Good. We got Tony J. Camp. We got some people in there. And it's been really cool. People seem to be enjoying the chat. Britt's in there, so you can chat with her if you have any questions for her while we're doing our thing up here. If you want to talk amongst yourselves or offer or contribute anything to the show, that's one way to do it. Another thing that's cool is if we're talking about something you have a reference, you can pop a link into the chat. I can click on it, bring it up on the screen, and preview it. So I know it's not just balls.
Yeah.
And then show everyone else. So it's cool.
No
Go join the chat. punishedprops.com/live is where you can find that out. Also, thank you everyone for our supporting our Patreon. It's your support that's helped us be able to do extra things like add a chat and all that fun, super awesome stuff. What else next on the note? Hey. Oh, first we should go check out Will's site, right?
Yeah. Need some updating. I got some things to add to it.
Sure. For those of you who don't know, Will is my shopmate. He runs WM Armory. I've got a lot of cool stuff going on over there. A lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of stuff you're selling. You're going to be a construct.
I will be a construct.
That's right. Construct, for those of you who don't know, is a brand new convention. Our friend Alyssa from Propped Up Creations is spearheading the convention. It's going to be cool. It's this weekend in New York City at The Complete Sculptor. Head to Construct-FX to get all the details on that. Buy tickets. If you're in the area, it's going to be really cool. There's an amazing guest list, including Will Morgan and Bill Duran.
I know.
Stars from the internet. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of programming and panels and stuff. So we figured we'd take a little time while your questions are coming in to tell you about that. Again, if you're watching live, if you head to the event page for this live stream, you can add your questions to the Q&A app there. They'll show up on my screen and we'll answer them for you. All right, let's talk about our panels.
Yeah.
So this weekend coming up. Will is doing a couple of panels. This one is called Costuming from Concept Art to Convention Floor. What's that about?
It's about taking a costume idea you have. Maybe it's from a video game or it's from a comic book, and taking that idea and taking it all the way to completion, and the steps you would take, the material research you would do, and how you would decide how you're going to put it together and make it an actual costume.
That's good. I know a lot of people will dive face first into a project without and go and buy materials without like planning step 2.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a really great panel, especially for anyone who's just getting into costume making. You're also doing a workshop, right?
Yes, I'm doing a painting workshop.
Totally awesome. So workshops, if you go to conventions and they're offering a workshop, usually they cost a little bit extra on top of your ticket price, but what you get out of it is an intensive, like one-on-one or like one-on a smaller group setting, where you actually physically do stuff, like build things. And in your case, you're doing a painting one, so you have some demonstration pieces.
These are the pieces I've been working on. These little demo pieces. And they've got some stuff done onto them already, just because I only have 2 hours for a workshop, and I can't spray paint and let it dry, or else we'll be watching paint dry for 2 hours.
That's right. And spray painting indoors.
Yes.
Hooray!
So I'm going to go over weathering techniques, a lot of beginner tips and tricks to really bring your props to life with a cool paint job.
That'll be really cool. I feel like it'll be like a finger painting for adults thing, where everyone just gets paint and a thing, and they just get to really play and practice and see the sort of things you can pull off,
Yeah.
especially in a short period of time.
Yeah.
You're also joining me on a beginner's guide to prop making. It's a panel I've done several times before. It's a lot of the very basic stuff to, if you're getting into prop making, sort of basic techniques and material stuff. So that one will be really fun. We'll be doing that one together. I'm doing another one called Prop and Cosplay Photography, which I'm actually like the most excited about. Been running around with my camera the last couple of days, taking pictures of stuff, preparing my presentation for that. All about just getting a decent photo of your prop once you finished it. Like, if you ever see someone work on a prop, they're all done with it. You know they put a lot of work into it, and then take a picture in like a dark corner of their closet.
It's a bathroom selfie.
Yeah. And you're like, it physically hurts me to see someone do that with their finished piece. So I'm hoping this presentation will help people just understand the technical stuff you need to make a decent looking photograph. I'm going to do a live demo too, which should be fun.
Cool.
I'm going to have my DSLR with me hooked up to the projector through my computer so that I can take photos of a piece that's there, and hopefully those photos, through the miracle of technology, show up on the screen. And I'll do a bunch of different lighting setups, so that'll be really fun. I'm also doing a workshop, Foam Making Fabrication 101. We'll be building a dagger out of foam, I think. So it's a 2-hour thing again. People get to take real materials and adhesives and knives. People will be just cutting up everything.
Hopefully
and then,
not their fingers. Right?
Yes. Well, I predict at least one injury. That's going to be really fun. A 2-hour workshop. And that's it. That's Construct, New York City this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll also be rooming. It's going to get adolescent really fast. But I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to getting on a plane at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Whee!
Hey, at least we're close by the airport.
Yes, we're very close to the airport. Let's see. A couple more things before we get rolling here. I see a handful of questions rolling in. Keep those coming. We'll get to your questions here in a moment. You've got some new stuff in your store, don't you? You guys got to check this stuff out. Here, I'll bring it up. You show the pieces and talk them. I'll bring it up on the thing.
So I got a couple things. I'm a huge fan of Destiny. You didn't know that. And I started going around working on my factions, and I thought, why not make faction emblems? Because everybody has those on their character. So I made these. I can't see these too well, but there's like New Monarchy, these little 3-dimensional pieces that Future War Cult. And then Dead Orbit.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite to cast and paint is that one, but I'm actually but I'm actually Dead Orbit. This is my guy. And then I also, for fun, I cast them cold cast just to see what they would look like.
They're all metal.
So like a nice fun metal one there.
Yep.
A couple other ones.
I love that copper.
Oh yeah, that copper looks nice.
So pretty, so shiny.
Yeah. So we got those emblems.
And then the other guys there.
And I have these. So I don't know if anybody's seen Mad Max yet. But
I haven't yet either.
Awesome.
I know. I haven't
twice.
seen it yet.
Gonna go see it again a third time because it's awesome. But I made the Warboy emblems.
Those are cool.
Cast these guys up, give them a nice rust paint job, and all of those are available. You can get them as kits, or you can get at least the emblems are fully painted.
Yeah.
And I also sell them in cold cast, so you can get the cold cast Warboys emblem and a cold cast aluminum.
Cool. And if you guys want to check those out, go over to WMArmory.com and check them out. They're fun. They're small kits. They're reasonably priced, and they're easy projects to finish. You have a finished product pretty fast. So if you're looking for something, especially if you like any of those things and you just want to get into it, get your hands dirty, that'd be a great thing.
You can use them on a costume too, because a lot of the classes will have this.
Yeah. They also make good belt buckles or a badge on just a shirt.
Yeah.
A lot of
throw a magnet on the back.
Yeah.
Stick them on your car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I kind of want to do that. We've been talking about doing that, finishing them with automotive clear paint so they're durable, and then just getting double-sided adhesive and sticking it on.
Finally, have my Prius look a little cooler with one of these on there.
Oh yeah, that was badass.
Prius.
The last thing we have before we get rolling is I've just recently finished up this guy. So this is a Nerf mod that I did. Last weekend, my buddy Dankwich came over with a pile of Nerf guns, and we played like grown adult men with toy guns. I put some pictures up on my Facebook page for this guy, and I shot a video, and that'll be up tomorrow. So look for the full build video of that guy tomorrow. All right. That was one hell of an intro, but we are ready. Your questions are rolling in, and we'll start answering them. We got, let's see, nothing I need to know about in the chat. So we're gonna go steer into the crash. All right, Fearless Facade, one of our regulars, wants to know, what if you're putting on that final layer of nice shiny gloss on your prop, and when it dries, you discover dust particles have landed on it and are now stuck on your finished piece? Any tips to remove or avoid this problem?
I just have a clean spray area.
Yeah, like our really super clean spray area over there.
The thing is, you don't want anything blowing out the fumes. You want something sucking out the fumes. Because if it's blowing the fumes away, it's going to be blowing dust on your work. So if you have something like a vent or anything that's sucking everything away, it should be fine. Just make sure that it's dusted and swept and there's not a lot of anything kicking up. Like the paint room we have is separated from anything that would create dust, like the Dremels or the bandsaw or the bench sander. So any dust shouldn't be getting in there.
Any of that dust.
Yeah, any of that dust.
And also that paint area we keep saying we ought to clean the shop. So when we get back from New York, it's like seriously time to clean this place. Because in the paint room, the floor has dust particles of paint. When you spray stuff, anything that doesn't land on something goes on the floor and dries that way. So there is tons of dust in there that we need to clean up. If you do get dust in your clear coat, I imagine you could sand it very, very gently with a high grit sandpaper.
Really high grit.
Yeah, like maybe wet sand it with like 400 or higher.
I'd go even higher than 400 if you're just trying to take off just one layer.
Yeah, because you only want to chew through that tiny little bit of clear coat.
You can go all the way up to 1,000.
If you do that, then you would sand it down until you get that little speck out, and then clear coat it again. But that sounds terrible.
The best way is to avoid the prop to begin with.
Yeah, just try and Lon says dust. Try cat fur. Just about every prop I have, even though my cats don't come in the basement, every prop I've sent out somewhere has cat fur on it.
When I was doing the strange coins, one of them, after everything's set, they have to sit 24 hours for the gem of the center to set for that resin. I came back, and lo and behold, one of them had managed to get my cat's fur in it. So that one was just totally ruined.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm going to post a link to the event page in the chat, just so people can do that. There we go. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Fearless Facade. Good question. All right. This next one here comes from Douglas. I was about to make a Homestar Runner strong bad joke, but I knew Will wouldn't get it. Damn it. Douglas. Yeah,
you don't get my South Park jokes. So.
I watched some South Park in 1996 or 7. All right, this one comes from Douglas. I have a large armor build going and would like advice about securing extended arms as well as making an elbow joint. I'd like the costume's elbow to be at my wrist. I'm aiming for articulated fingers, so my fingers will be busy puppeting. So it sounds like a big Space Marine build.
Yeah, sounds kind of like Gary Sterley's.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to point that out. So the bicep is your whole upper arm, and then the elbow is at your wrist. And then you would have like a forearm extended beyond that, and then articulated fingers. I'm going to find Gary's thing.
I think it would be the best example.
Yeah. We had Gary on this show a while back. He did this guy here. Let's bring this up. He did this huge Space Marine guy, and this arm is extended, exactly what you're talking about, extended beyond his arm, and the fingers articulate and everything. So if you head over to Gary Sterley Studios, we'll put a link to his Facebook page in the comments or in the description of this episode, so you can go find it. He has a huge behind-the-scenes album. Let me see if I can find it real quick. An album on that build with tons and tons of photos.
And it is huge.
Yeah, let's try and find that. Crimson Fist. That's what it is. Space Marine Construction. Here you go. So this is, again, Gary Sterley Studios, and then here's the construction. You can see he just took tons of, like, these are all finished, but there's his articulate hand with the fingers and everything. And I believe he 3D printed most of that. You don't have to 3D print it. You could do it your own way. But yeah, go check that out and see how he did it. I believe there is a Warhammer 40K costuming group.
Yeah, I'd imagine that there would be.
I can't remember. Costume forum. That one is Obscurus Crusade. I believe that this is it. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll put a link. Yeah, this is it. obscuruscrusade.com/forum. We'll put this link in the show notes as well. Here, I'll drop it in the chat. Boop. If folks want to check that out. So a lot of those guys do those sort of things where they're building armor that's much bigger than they are and extending it beyond their body, making articulate fingers. So there you go, Douglas. There's some resources for you to check out. And go bug Gary. He'll help you out. He's a swell guy. Boop. All right, let's close that. Move on to the next thing. Sheik Chan cosplay. Sure, I nailed it. What is the best way to figure out patterning when creating a helm? Well, you and I know a guy.
Yeah.
Want to tell him about Ted?
Yeah, Evil Ted Smith. He's got some great videos if you're foam fabricating and getting those patterns.
Helmet. Let's see here. I was hoping you would keep talking while I found it.
Yeah, no, he talks about how to create the patterns and modify them, and
there's
really
my God,
informative, great videos.
You have to talk for 12 more seconds while we go through the
12 more seconds. Yeah, check out Evil Ted. He's got a Facebook page. He puts up stuff on foam fabrication. Yep. He's got his videos. He does. Follow him on Twitter.
He just put up a really good video on doing foam seams. Foam.
Yeah, getting extremely clean seams.
All right,
which is a huge question.
Here we go. People ask me a question all the time too. So here's part one: how to make a foam helmet tutorial. Part one. This is on Evil Ted Smith's channel. The way he does it is using a head cast. Now you don't need a head casting of someone you know. We did head castings, which was really handy. You can actually go Monster Makers, and we'll put a link to that in the description. They have a couple of heads you can buy. They're like $50 or $60, which is a pretty good deal. Of a human-sized head, male and female. They have a couple of different ones.
You might have to bulk them up if your head's a little larger.
Yeah, which I've done before. So you wrap it in tape or something to make it a little bigger. Yeah. But yeah, using Ted's technique of wrapping it in foil and then putting tape over that and then drawing your pattern on it, that's how you're going to make a really good helmet pattern. So get yourself a head form. Go watch Ted's video. Boom. And we'll put links to those in the description for you in the show notes. Cool. That question came from Sheik Chan Cosplay. All right. I also did my Destiny helmet. I did a live stream of that. It's like 5 hours long. So if you've got some time on your hands, you can go watch how I did mine. We'll link to that as well. Cool. All right. This next one comes from another regular who calls him or herself. Don't try this at home. Question is, hey guys, I'm here in my secret underground volcano lair shop with Iron Man, and we're wondering what little super clever tidbits you two have for shop organization and maximizing space in small shops. So what do you say? You've had to work in pretty small spaces.
Including my bedroom and my apartment several years ago. I've actually got your own little storable, collapsible dust collection thing for traveling. I have a how-to build thing on that for my website.
Right, you do. Under tips.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of drawers and storage organization stuff that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's.
There you go. That's make a dust collector on the quick and cheap over at WM Armory. So that's what you use to build in your
Yeah, that's what I had in the corner hooked up with my shop
Yeah,
vac.
in your apartment.
Yep.
The great thing about something like that is it's handy, but it also doesn't take up space because you can put stuff in it.
Yeah, and you can hide it and put it away if you have company over.
Right. When I got started doing prop making, I was using half of a 2-car garage, but I had that all to myself. I know you've had the similar size space, but you shared it with at least 3 other people.
Yeah, who had people over all the time, so
Right.
it's pretty packed.
I've been a little bit spoiled, but that's what you get for being an adult with a job. You can afford to say, "This is my garage. Get out." As far as organization goes, I like I got all these bins back here, but that's not even close to what I have. And even this, I wish I could take all of this stuff in those bins and get twice as many bins. And you waste space that way, but it's more organized to have more bins, because then instead of just having one thing for all my glue, I can split out my glue in different categories, and then I would always know where they are.
Instead of going through one bin with a ton of glue in it.
Exactly, yeah. And then actually, let's do this. Let's
pegboards are going to do with the magnet
yeah.
strips.
I've got this pegboard here, and there's a light, and there's the show, with all of my most frequently used tools. So all of these guys get used a lot. So they stay on this magnet strip. Same thing with stuff over there. And then on my bench here, I have a drawer. This keeps dust out, and then these are all of my measuring and drawing tools. So that takes up very little space. All right. So there are a couple of things you can do to help stay organized in a small space. Thank you. Don't try this at home. Boop. All right. Sounds like that little computer is chugging away.
Yeah.
Here we go. This one comes from our pal Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Kevin likes to send us baked goods, so we like Kevin. Oh, hey, check this out. Someone in the Avatar posted this in the chat. This is an Instructables link to a mechanical hand. That's pretty cool. So that one's over on Instructables, Mechanical Hand 2. Pretty awesome. Done with like strings and stuff, and it makes it functional. Cool. Go chat. Thank you, Avatar, for the link. All right. So Kevin's question, he says, do you gentlemen have a singular favorite moment in costume that you can recall? Well, a lot of fun at Dragon Con. I don't know if we can recall a lot of it.
Yeah.
Didn't you meet Taylor in costume?
Yeah, I did.
You should probably.
Yeah, that was my favorite. So when I met my now girlfriend, we've been together for a while now.
Wow, long time. Wow.
I think
amateur.
I met her at San Diego Comic-Con, and I had my first costume I ever made was my Blue Shepherd, and I had a magnet holster thing I had on my hip, and she wanted to get a picture with me because she was dressed as formal wear female shepherd. And as we parted ways after the picture, my magnets, which are they're actually old hard drive magnets, really, really powerful earth magnets, grabbed her purse, and the purse went with me.
Yay! You were bound by your wallets.
Aww.
Forever.
I don't know if this is.
Oh, I'm fine. I'll find a picture. Don't you worry.
I think.
No, there's Zaid. I'm going back through Will's. It's cool, guys. I'm just going to post Will's private Facebook page all over the internet.
Thank you.
That's digging way back. Of course, if I have to find a picture of the first time I met Brittany, I'd have to go back 15 years. That's the armor you're talking about.
That's the armor I'm talking about.
That's the first time. I didn't even talk to you. I saw you in that armor, but I didn't even talk. If I had to pick, actually, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I had a couple of fun moments that I can recall. When the first time I went to Dragon Con, I had my Hawk armor from Dragon Age 2, and there were tons of Mass Effect cosplayers. I didn't have a Mass Effect costume. There's one other Dragon Age cosplayer. It was our friend Wraith, but I didn't know her at the time, but she was in a Flemeth. So we're like, oh, we'll be buddies because they're all Mass Effect. We'll hang out over here, and we hung out for like 3 hours, and we didn't like talk, and then parted ways. cut to like 8 months later at PAX East, Morden from Mass Effect comes up to me.
That's right.
And full mask, I didn't realize that there was a tiny woman in there. She was like, "Oh no!" It's like, "What?" And she had to like pull her mask off and be like, "I know you." I was like, "I have no idea. Still, I can't see your face." She like pulled the thing out. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Flemeth from Dragon Age."
I think a lot of people in costume sometimes forget they're in costume
Yeah.
when they meet someone. And then when they're either in costume or out of costume, they talk to you like, "Hey, yeah, blah, blah, blah." It's like they just talked to you. I'm like, I have no idea.
Or like the first time you met someone,
Yeah.
they had a mask on, and then like 2 years later, they're like, "Hey, old buddy." I'm like, "I don't know you. You had face paint on." That was fun. No, I love that. Those sort of like just running into people year after year and making friends sort of thing. Yeah, I guess there was a couple times we had fun with that Kevin guy, Dragon Con. Looking forward to partying with Kevin again this year. All right, let's see. Next one. This one comes from Matthew. Oh, this is a good question. Matthew wants to know, is there any way you could film the panels from Construct and post them? I would like to. Yeah. The problem is that my camera will only do 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, they're hour-long panels.
And it's like an hour long, so I'd have to run up, hit it again, run back, and I just can't do that.
I don't know if they're going to have a setup.
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's a first-year con, so...
Yeah. The technical issues of doing like an hour-long video are daunting. I did a panel at PAX East a couple of years ago. It was me, my brother Rob, and Holly and Jessica. And it was a really fun panel. We had a blast, and I wanted to record the audio. So I had an audio recorder. I'm like, perfect, it's going to be great. And I put it next to me on the stage to record. I should have put it in the audience because the audio I got out of it was an hour of just worthless audio. It was terrible. So yeah, probably not, Matthew. I'm sorry. Don't hold your breath. We'll see, though. We will see. Okay, next one comes from Hunter. Oh, this one seems right up your alley. Hunter wants to know, have you ever done or will you ever do a Warlock build from Destiny? I wouldn't because I'm a Titan. In fact, I'm probably going to do a second Titan costume.
So while Warlock is my all-time favorite class, I can't sew worth shit. So I asked my girlfriend Taylor, and she said, absolutely not. She'll help me out with an undersuit, but she's not going to do a very elaborate robe because, of course, I would also go with the most complicated thing.
Of course.
So unless I take the time to learn how to sew, probably not going to do a Warlock.
Sounds like a good challenge.
I may do some of the helmets just because I love them. I think they're fascinating and amazing looking. And you can actually see out of those.
Yeah.
Unlike most of the Titan helmets.
I know.
Which are just completely no visor.
Right.
But probably not a Warlock, but definitely a Destiny costume.
Yeah, yeah. I know you were looking at some like some of the early concepts from the Titan armor.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've got my armor figured out for the most part. Probably gonna go with my Titan.
Awesome, cool, and look forward to me building more. In fact, my Titan armor, I seem to have lost the undersuit. Somehow between the last convention a month ago and now, I either left it at the hotel, which would suck, or I lost it somehow. I don't know. So I may just get rid of the whole thing and build another one. Who knows? Because I'm crazy. But I'm probably not going to do a Warlock either. But Gary did. Gary Sterley Studios. He's doing a really awesome Warlock. That's amazing. Check that out. All right. Thank you, Hunter, for your question. Let's see here. Oh, don't try this at home in the chat. It says, forget sewing. All the cool kids are using rivets. There you go. Just rivet your armor together. Or hot glue it like I do.
Glue it, super glue it, duct tape it.
Yes. All right. Let's see. This next one comes from Uneven Pictures. Hello, I'm a big fan, and I tried making my own foam knife, and I'm trying to get better, blah, blah, blah. So on my 4th layer of Plasti Dip, I got bubbles. Is there a way I can fix that? I don't know. I've never gotten bubbles by spraying Plasti Dip on.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the layer below it wasn't dry yet, like the paint below it.
Yeah.
That could be if there was any paint below it.
Yeah. If Plasti Dip should be going directly on the foam.
Yeah. Or if
Was it under a heat lamp or too
Yeah,
close
if
to
it was
heat?
too hot, that's what I might
Because
think.
if it's too hot wherever it's at, the foam will expand, and that possibly created air pockets underneath if it expanded and contracted. That's the only thing I could think of.
Something you might try too, and something that Evil Ted did in his most recent video, was before spraying his Plasti Dip on it, he actually brushed on a layer of Mod Podge. Yeah. So Mod Podge is a PVA glue. You could use Elmer's glue, you could use wood glue, or Mod Podge. Brush a layer directly on the foam, let that dry, and then hit it with your Plasti Dip. And then also, usually you can put layers of Plasti Dip on pretty quickly, right? Like like one after the other.
They suggest putting it on pretty thick and heavy.
But like waiting only like 10 minutes between application.
No, it's not like paint or acrylic paint.
Yeah, you can add it on, but don't go so heavy that it pools.
No.
Yeah, but you can definitely put layers on fairly quickly. So, and like I usually say, if you're having trouble like that, do some small scale tests on some scrap.
Yeah.
To try and suss out those problems. All right. Thank you, Uneven Pictures 2. Wondering if Uneven Pictures 1 was taken. All right. This is one here from Joseph. How do you get clean inside cuts in foam without cutting a little too far? I'm thinking like if you have, let's say, a cut like this inside angle here, right? So you can see how if you were cutting it like this, you could go too far.
Okay.
So did you cut that out with a knife?
No. I used a bench sand or a bandsaw to cut all this.
Bandsaw, that's pretty handy.
Or a scroll saw. If not, what I would do if it's like an inside corner like that, I would start at this point and then cut, and then I would twist it over here and then start here and then cut. Yeah. I never cut into that. If I'm doing that, it's a long cut. I'll stop right around here, and then I'll switch directions and cut it.
See if I can do a live thing without hurting myself. I don't have any foam. But I got a knife here. So basically what I like to do then is, let's say this piece of wood is a piece of foam, and I want to cut into it like that. I'll make the cut that way. I will sort of like seesaw the tip of the blade into the foam and then cut back. Starting at the intersection, starting on the inner side.
Yeah, start in that corner and then
hopefully
away from the inside of it.
My ad-libbed visual aids help someone. If it's a curved circle like that, then like all bets are off. For interior curves, carving knife like this guy here can be pretty handy. I'll end up sort of sawing around a corner.
What you can do too is you can cut, leaving like a little bit of space, so there's room. Like, so if your line's here, cutting outside of your pattern, and then just dremeling that in so it's clean and you don't have any jagged saw lines. Yeah. And if you do have to saw, make sure you clean it up with a Dremel after that. Yeah. It's very common for like woodworking, if you're using a bandsaw, to cut outside of your line and then go back in with like a spindle sander to clean it up after the fact. You can do the same thing with foam if you have the right tools. You can remove material, but you can't add it. Definitely can't add the foam. Thank you, Joseph. Good luck with your interior foam cuts. This next one comes from Douglas again. Is there a good material for casting a mug that would be safe to drink from? I first planned to slip cast in clay, but lost access to a kiln. That would be a Smooth-On question. Yeah, you can go to smoothon.com, and I know they make like food-safe silicone. Yeah. But I'm not sure what material you would put in there to have something you would drink out of. Yeah. I'm sure they do have something. Yeah, I'm very wary of putting anything I built anywhere near my mouth. There's so many chemicals and crazy stuff. Props. No, don't eat your props. But definitely go ask the folks at Smooth-On. They're really great about their customer service, and that seems like something they would know about. And they're happy to answer questions too. They'll get back to you right away. They're awesome. Super cool. I'm willing to bet now. Don't do this, but I'm willing to bet that once the urethane plastic, like Smooth Cast 300, once it's cured, I'm pretty sure it's totally inert. And at the very least, you could seal it with something that is. Yeah.
Yeah, they may tell you that, but again, go ask
Yeah,
Smooth
ask them.
on what they think, because they know what their chemicals do. Thank you, Douglas. Let's see. This next one comes from Courtney. Hey guys, great to see you again. Good to see you, Courtney. Quick question: how do you make the change from "I make props" to "Do people pay me to make props"? It happens overnight, right? Just like
Pretty
that.
much.
Not really. My own story, I was making props for myself. I started that in about 2009. I started making props and costumes for myself, and I took my first commission in 2011. So it took 2 years of doing it. In fact, the first commission was my brother, so I don't know if that counts. But I got another, my next commission, once I started doing commissions, they started coming in more frequently.
Huh?
But it took 2 or 3 years of getting good enough and getting my name out there before people started asking me. But a lot of times, if you want commissions, you have to tell people that you're open for commissions. A lot of people assume when they see something, like, oh, really? That's a cool thing you made. And then they move along. But if you say, hey, I made this thing. Do you want me to make you a thing? Get in touch.
Yeah. My story is kind of similar. I started out, I made myself the shepherd costume. And it got shared around, and then people asked me, it's like, hey, do you take commissions for that? Because it was a popular item at the time, very popular video game. So people wanted to know either where I got my patterns from, or if they could hire me to make one or buy the costume off me. So at first I was like, I don't know. But then I agreed to take a commission to do one suit. So it started off as kind of a hobby and just a side thing until it really started to pick up. And I'm like, I could probably make a living out of this.
And it may be the sort of thing, too, where you get a commission here and there, but you still mostly make stuff for yourself. And in fact, you may, I know people who make stuff for themselves all the time and will infrequently pick up commissions. They don't want it to be a full-time thing, but if someone gives them an offer they can't refuse, I'm like, sure, I'll make it for you.
Yeah.
So you may find yourself in that position where you still just mostly make stuff for yourself or make stuff for your friends, but take the occasional commission in on the side. It's not as binary as you might think, where you just swap over.
It starts off with showcasing your work, and then people are like, hey, I have this skill set, I can make these things, and then they'll come to you.
Yep. For me, it started with running a blog, basically showing how I build all my stuff. And I've been doing that since 2009. I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now. And it's taken that long to pick up steam. But again, you want to tell people that you're taking commissions, because if they don't know, give them an easy way. Make a form on your website, like a contact form on your website with all the information people need about commissions, and make it easy for people to get a hold of you if they'd like something built. There you go. Good luck, Courtney. If you are looking to get paid to make props, just be warned. It's going to take a lot of work. But you can do it. It's totally fun. Next question comes from Uneven Pictures. My girlfriend is asking boxers or briefs? Boxers today.
Are those the only two options?
I hope you're wearing underwear.
Boxer briefs?
Oh, Britt just posted this. Here's a link to that's Will's website. And then this is that first commission I had. 2011. I made a gun. Who's that goofball?
That was the Battlestar gun?
Yeah, I made a gun from Battlestar Galactica.
Nice.
This was a commission for my brother. Do I have it finished? That's what it looks like.
There was one upstairs, right?
It's one of the ones upstairs. Actually, the master, I think, is upstairs. Yeah. So there you go. Uneven Pictures. Your girlfriend, wink, wanted to know boxers or briefs. Don't try this at home wants to know, what attracts more customers, costumes and armor or weapons and info? I say all of the above. There's no reason to pick one. And if you're just trying to get a lot of eyeballs on your stuff, you want to cast a very wide net and do a whole lot of things, or focus on a niche. Like you're the one guy that does all the Mass Effect guns or whatever. So, but more importantly, build stuff that you love and enjoy doing. Where have you found, like, as far as like what people like? For example, for me, for a long time, I made lots of Mass Effect guns.
Yeah.
That's kind of why people came to my site, was Mass Effect guns. What have you found most of the time people are coming to you
In the
for?
beginning, it was the Mass Effect costumes.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing any weapons.
That's right. You've made quite a few like sets of Mass Effect armor.
Shepard suits, helmets, things like that. And then I just started later getting into the weapons because people were getting a costume. Like, hey, I have nothing to go with this costume. So I started fabricating weapons out of foam. But I've started to find that it's not as feasible to do. So that's why I've been teaching people how to make stuff with foam for armor.
Yeah. And like you're saying, weapons and info, like the info thing, like I was saying earlier, was a great way to get people to my website, a great way for people to find out who I was and what I do, and a great way to tell them, oh, do you like this thing I made? Well, I can make other things, which is actually funny. People would get a hold of me and like, I saw you made a Mass Effect gun, but stick with me now. Do you think you'll be able to make a gun from Halo? Well, yeah, like it's the same skill set. I can totally make either or. Yeah, all of the above. Don't try this at home. All of the above. All right, we've got about 15 minutes left. We got a couple of questions left over there. If you guys are, jonesing to get your questions answered, get them in via the event page. Look at this. I'm gonna pop on over real quick to the chat. We got like a legit crazy amount of people in the chat. You guys are awesome. Talking about air bubbles, talking about commissions. Someone's got a question for Britt about her Vex costume. That's awesome. Keep it going, you guys. All right. Jason Lee 01 wants to know, I know you guys are fast, but if you break down the amount for a commission versus the time, are you guys making more than $5 an hour? Yes. Yes, I am. I actually did found a calculator. Did you get to look at that?
I looked at it. I didn't get a chance to fill it out fully, but yeah.
So
it's really neat.
You don't want to look at it like, how much did I end up making with that commission per hour? Look at it the other way. As you're taking a commission on, say, how much do I want to make per hour? Like Captain Planet, the power is yours. There's a great, if you look online, look up like a freelance hourly wage calculator, something like that. It takes into account how much you need to cover your expenses, how many hours out of the day are billable hours.
Yeah.
So for example, you and I aren't spending all of our workday building stuff.
No.
There's a lot of upkeep, checking emails, recording videos, doing a lot of other stuff. The more billable hours you have in the day, meaning the more time you're spending like making props, the less you have to charge to hit your desired hourly rate. So if I only spend an hour every day making props and I have to get a commission done, I have to charge more per hour because less of that time is getting, if that makes any sense to you. Look up those calculators. You can kind of figure that out. What I ended up with for an hourly rate was double what I made at Microsoft. And I didn't make a ton. I wasn't like rolling in it when I was at Microsoft. But the thing is, when you're working for yourself, you have to keep into account all the overhead, everything. Like at Microsoft, they paid for my pens and my coffee, supplies, computer, monitor, the rent of the building. They paid for all of that, and then they paid me a wage. Here, we have to pay for all those things.
They also took out taxes, so you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, they also figured all that stuff out.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised when you start trying to figure out what your hourly rate should be for commission work. Don't be surprised if it seems very high. But make sure you charge that amount, because it's the only way you're going to earn any kind of profit. There you go, Jason Lee. If we can find one too, we'll put a link to the wage calculator that I found. We'll put that in the description. Let's see. This one is from Chu. Hey guys, I got into cosplaying and I really want to do a Cayman Rider Den-O wing foam armor. I'm gonna look that up. see what it is, because I don't know what that is. But Google seems to know what it is. Let's see here. I always bring up the links, the searches before I switch over. Turns out it's dongs. So yeah, I'm guessing one of these guys here out of foam. I have no idea how to approach this. What are your suggestions on how to approach this? Where would you start, Will, if you were going to make this giant dude here?
I'll definitely do it out of foam.
Yeah.
I would not make those wings out of plastic or anything heavier.
No. There are a lot of problems that need to be solved. Like the wings are a problem. That's going to be really tough.
Even if you do make them out of foam, their size is going to kind of counteract the lightweight of the foam, and they're going to be heavy and floppy. Especially if you're at a convention, they're going to be slapping so many people in the face. You're going to have to shuffle sideways to doors. So you might want to make the wings slightly smaller, scale them down, make them detachable, so that way you can go through doors and have a handler to carry the wings for you. When it's like, oh, it's photo time, slap the wings back on. Yeah. So identify anything in your costume that's going to be something you need to solve, and solve that problem before dealing with the making it look right. Yeah. You're going to have to build some prototype wings and figure out how you're going to attach them to your body so that they stay in place. And do all that before you start building your helmet, your chest piece, all of the more aesthetic pieces of your armor. I would actually do like just cut up an old cardboard box, duct tape it together, use some masking tape. That way you can figure out a good size for the wings. Yeah. Put them on, wear them around the house, see how you feel. If you realize these are too huge and I'm going to take out an eyeball or clothesline a child, maybe you should tone them down a bit. Yeah. So solve all those problems before you really dive in, before you go buy tons and tons of material, before you invest a lot of money in it. Solve those problems first. We're going to do a panel on that. Well, I'm doing a panel on that, so that's right. Problem solving. That's the thing. It's a very. I've done this before. Some of my early costumes where I just went to the store, I bought like $200 of materials, brought it home. I was like, what do I do? What do I do with all this? And I ended up abandoning the project. Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Chu. Let's see. Britt posted the wage calculator in the chat. That's awesome. Sweet. And again, that'll be in the show notes. Don't try this at home wants to know. Since we're on the topic, without giving away personal details, what is your pricing formula for like commissions and stuff? I know roughly how much I usually would charge per hour. And because I've done so many projects, I can estimate how many hours I might have to spend on it. And that figure, once you kind of get a rough figure of how much I need to charge, you add material costs to that. Yeah. And then I'll be like, how much do I want to do this project? Because if it's a project I really want to do, I might charge a little less, or I might ask a little less when we're negotiating. Yeah. If it's something I really don't want to do, I might charge a little more. Be like, look, here's my rate. Basically saying, make me do it. Yeah, make it worth your time. Make it worth my time. Another thing like you have to consider is if it's a mold or a cast you're doing, is it just going to be one person you're selling this to in that case, and that's a mold that's now useless afterwards, then you're going to have to charge more for it. Because that's a lot of time and materials. But if it's something that you can sell like 30, 50, 60 or more of afterwards, then maybe charge less for it, because the amount you'll sell afterwards will more than make up for it. For example, I did one or two people commissioned me to do the Carnifex from Mass Effect. And I knew I was going to be able to move Carnifex kits after the fact. So I built it. I made a mold of it. I cast and finished 2 of them, sent them out to the clients. And then I said, hey, who else wants a Carnifex kit? And lo and behold, people bought plenty of Carnifexes from me. So that worked out really well for me. I didn't have to charge a ton for that original commission. On the other hand, I built, I'm pointing because they're over there, the molds I made. I built these gauntlets for Wizards of the Coast. They wanted 3 of them. And then they specifically said, these are trophies. You can't make any more of them. You're making them for us. They're exclusive. I said, awesome. It's going to cost you a little more because I'm going to put all this time and effort and resources into making 17 molds, by the way. So
gonna have to charge you more because I can't recoup any costs by selling blank kits after the fact. Lots of considerations when it comes to it. You call it a formula, more like guidelines. All right, this next one is from Hunter again. Hunter says, I'm trying to get into the cosplay community. What would you consider I build first? Because I'm pretty inexperienced. Sci-fi gun or sci-fi armor?
Gun.
If you're just looking, like he specifically says, getting into the community.
Yeah.
I would say if you enjoy BioWare games, pick something from, this is what I did, pick something from Dragon Age or Mass Effect, build a costume, and then go to Dragon Con. Because then you will make all the friends at Dragon Con.
Very large community.
Yeah.
Finding large communities of costumers.
Yeah. Like Star Trek, Star Wars, those are good examples.
Assassin's Creed's a big
Assassin's
one.
Creed, a lot of those. Borderlands, tons of Borderlands.
Yeah.
And then
League of Legends,
lots of those. Do a costume from a game that you enjoy that a lot of other people enjoy, or from a movie or TV show or whatever. Yeah. And then when you go to a convention, you already have friends. Like you're like, hey, we're friends already. That's how I met Will. He's like, hey, I'm in a Mass Effect costume. You're in a Mass Effect costume. We're best friends now. That's how I would say build armor from a video game. If you're just learning to dip your toe into the skill set of making stuff, maybe then just build a gun.
Do a gun, something simple. Yeah. Don't go over elaborate. Don't be like, oh, I love the Gundam series, so I'm gonna make a Gundam.
Yeah.
Probably a bad idea because they're pretty big and massive.
All right. Thank you, Hunter. This one's from Uneven Pictures again. What do you guys think of EL wire brightness or how easy it is to use? You ever use it?
I've used it. It looks great when it's really dark, but as soon as you walk out in the sun, it's completely useless. And you can't tell it's on. Even if you get the super bright stuff, it's still not bright enough.
Yeah.
That's most LEDs in the sunlight you're not going to see.
Yeah. I've tried working with it in the past. What I found is that it tends to be underpowered. And it's hard to work with. The wires are usually pretty thin. And if you have to solder, you're going to like strip a piece off and then find these two little wires and fold those back. Then gently solder. Or you don't even solder it. You just like put on a little sleeve of foil or something. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of EL wire.
You can get plug and play kits. They're easy. They're fun if you just need something quick and you don't have time. But usually I get these strips of LEDs.
Those are really cool. They're 12-volt LED strips. You hook up
to like 3-inch segments.
Yeah, and you can hook up just like 8 AA's to it, and it'll run for a pretty good long time. And those things poop out a ton of light.
Those are way brighter.
Yeah, you just have to find a way to diffuse that light if you want to get that bar of light.
Yeah, usually side lighting helps to diffuse that light.
So that's what I think about EL wire. Basically, if you're making a Tron costume, that's the only reason why you would want to use EL wire. All right, we have a couple minutes left. We'll grab just a couple more questions, and then we'll be out of your hair. This one comes from Don't Try This at Home. What are some questions you would like us to start asking you? It's up to you guys. I mean,
what do you want to know?
I mean, look, this is the deal. You guys show up with content, and I don't have to work hard. That's how this works. But obviously any sort of technique questions about building props or costumes specifically.
Undergarment questions.
Yeah, if you have questions about specific materials that you haven't used yet and you want to know about it, we both have used a lot of different materials. Questions about running a small business as a creative person. Those are good. Questions about different tools. Again, if you have tools you haven't used before and you want a little insight into them, we have a pretty good range of experience using a lot of different tools. Questions about going to conventions, the cosplay culture in general. Lots of good stuff out there. I am maybe not an expert in all those things, but I would say I know more than most because I am an old fart. There you go. Don't try this at home. Let's see. Patrick wants to know, Let's see. I've done a test of the Mylar foil for glowing glasses, and I still have hope. I believe we were talking about this like last week or the week before. But all the glues I've tried to have made the lenses really blurry. Have you guys ever used optically clear glue, or do you have any ideas?
Never tried any of that stuff.
No.
Worked with that.
I don't know. Usually it's when I'm gluing stuff together, I'm not I'm not worried about like it's in opaque things. So you're not going to see through it.
Yeah.
I will say I have used acrylic cement. I can't remember if Mylar is acrylic or not. What acrylic, it's not really a glue. It just melts acrylic.
Fusing.
Yeah. So you take two pieces of acrylic, you put the cement on it, it melts it, you smoosh the two pieces together. And as long as you get any air bubbles out, it'll fuse that way, and then it turns it into one solid piece of acrylic. So it's going to be pretty close to optically clear. I'm not sure if the Mylar has
a similar,
like a similar type of cement or adhesive, but you might look into that. So good luck. People have recently been trying to figure out how to make lenses that glow.
Yeah.
Like those goofy glasses that Britt tried out and were kind of not great.
You might as well just put LEDs over your eyes because you're not going to be able to see.
Yeah. A lot of times if your eyes have to glow, you're just not going to see.
Like when I finally got around to making the Star-Lord eyes glow, I turn the light on and just everything's red.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's just how it is. Uneven Pictures wants to know, can you make an in-depth video about Nerf gun modding? The one you did looks amazing. Thank you. And you're in luck because I am in the middle of editing my Nerf modding video that's going live tomorrow. And I did it for you just because you wanted it. Good luck. I like when those line up. Hey, could you do something specific for me? Sure. I wasn't already doing it. I did it for you. Another couple quick ones. Jason Lee, when are you coming down to Miami? Do you have any plans on going to Miami?
No. Is there a con? You
I
can
don't
suggest
know.
that we guessed at that con.
Yeah, actually, this is a great way to bring up a couple things. We'll end it on this. Over on WMArmory.com, Will has a contact form, and one of the inquiry types is convention appearances. So we can't just fly to every convention, especially Miami is literally across the entire country for us up in here in Seattle. So what you can do as a convention attendee is go to the website of your favorite convention and find a contact form there and say, hey, this guy is really cool. His name is Will. He makes armor and guns. And it would be awesome if you had him at a guest at the convention next year and that you can put them in contact with us. And then we can be a guest. We can go do panels, teach people how to work with all the materials we do. And that's kind of how it works. Like I don't get to choose where I go, mostly because I can't afford to go to all the conventions. But if a convention will have me as a guest and they fly me out there, then awesome. I can go there, but it's up to you. Again, the power is yours. It's up to you to contact those conventions and let them know that you want me there or you want Will there. We also have, or I also have a similar thing. So if you go to punishprops.com, I have a convention appearances tab up there that shows I'm going to Construct and Nerdtacular, but also it's got a form on there for asking me to be at a convention. So I've got it set up right there. Send your favorite convention people over to that page and they can invite me, which will be awesome. Maybe we'll end up in Miami. That's it. That's it, folks. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Your questions are fantastic, as always. Thank you, chat room. You guys are awesome. There's a whole pile of people in there. I want to say like 20 people in there chatting and being pretty much wicked cool. And that's that. Head on over to WM Armory to check out all the Will stuff. And if you guys are at Construct, and I hope some of you are, come see our panels and hang out and have a good time.
And sign up for our workshops.
Sign up for the workshops. Those
Get
are
a hands-on experience.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be my hands on your face.